A pregnant woman who was stuck in the middle of the sea alone. Tried hard to survive in the sea with her newborn baby. So stay tuned to know whether she could survive or not. At the beginning of the story we see a city which is suffering from hunger. There is a shortage of food there. Therefore, the government has decided that it will keep only a few selected people in its city and the rest will be hunted down. They has been doing the same for the last 3 months. In the meantime, we see a couple in which the girl's name is Mia and the man's name is Jonas. Them got married 4 years ago. They have lost their 2-year-old daughter due to the government of their city, who blew up the bus as soon as they came from school, in which their daughter was killed. But both of them do not want their future child to get killed. Mia is in the last stage of her pregnancy and can give birth to a child at any time. That's why they decided to migrate to another place after talking to the nearest agent. Arrangements were made for both of them to go to another country, island, for which they will be placed in a container which will be transported by a ship and travel across the ocean to the island. Both are sitting in the container. Along with them, there are other people who are also leaving the country legally, and after some time Jonas comforts Mia by telling her that you have to take care of yourself and our child and do not be afraid at all because it is only a matter of time. As soon as we reach the island we will be living a new life. In such hope, Mia places her hand on her stomach and says that we are doing all this for you, referring to the baby in her stomach. After some time their container was suddenly open. And in an instant many people start coming inside. Their number were very large, and in this chaos, Jonas gets separated from Mia and the gate got closed by the time Mia went out. But after that when she calls him immediately, Jonas asks her to remain calm and tells her that after some time we will get alone. After that I will come to you, and Mia gets some relief after hearing this. But she was finding it difficult to control herself in such a crowd. She was more worried about the child than herself, but what to do, she was helpless. After this, these people started going to the port through the middle of the city. When they accidentally look outside, they feel pity to see the condition of their beautiful city, how one person was killing another person, and this includes old people and children too. After reaching the port, there was the biggest trouble they had to face. Because they have to cross the security check, there are many policemen standing there, one of whom comes and opens the container. But by then all these people are inside the container. They hide in a secret passage which was not visible from inside, but the senior officer suspects something. So he looks at the entire container very carefully and notices something wrong. He is the one who fires the bullet which hits the back, which means there are some people hiding behind the thin wall. The office tells them that I know that this is what you all have been through. So everyone better come out, otherwise I will kill everyone. It takes some time but no one comes out, so he asks his man to fire and then a girl comes out, but in the meantime Mia hides above a large wooden box kept in the container where those people cannot see her. The senior officer orders to kill everyone, after which unstoppable firing starts. For a few seconds, nothing is heard except the gunshots and the scream of dying people. Mia lies silently above with her hand on her mouth. After everyone was dead, their bodies were thrown into the sea and closed the gate. Mia was trembling in fear and was alone in the container. She firstly sent a voice message to Jonas that they killed everyone, but she somehow saved herself. After some time the container is loaded on the cargo ship which is about to go to the island. She calls him, but his phone was switched off. Then she sent him a voice message on this smartphone. But there is no answer. Here perhaps he was also killed by those people, as all the containers would have been checked. But who knows, there might be a miracle that can save him. After some time, the ship started moving. Mia also checked some of the things lying there, in which she found a torchlight. She sits in a corner and tries to fall asleep. His journey from here is going to be very long. At the middle of the night, when Mia opens her eyes, she looks outside the container. He discovers that his ship has been caught in a heavy storm and slows down. The storm has increased so much that she was very afraid. She sees that one by one all the containers start falling on the ocean, and among them is her container too, and as soon as her container falls into the water, she gets a shock due to which she also passes away. When her eyes open after some time, she looks around her. The container was filled with water. She notes that her container was stopped in the middle of the sea, which was very scary. Meanwhile, the first thing she tries to do is call Jonas. But unfortunately her phone is broken, but she tries from her other phone. But he was still not picking up the call, and then suddenly he heard some people's sound comes. When she looks out of the hole, she sees the same green container in which she saw Jonas going, but at the same time the container drowning in water. She calls him again, but to no avail, and soon the container catches her eye. Sinks before her eyes, and seeing Jonas dying like this in front of her eyes breaks her completely. She was left alone and there was no hope left to keep her alive. She even tries to commit suicide. But then she remembers that another life is growing inside her and she has to fulfill the promise given to Jonas. She throws the knife and closed her eye while sitting there. When she wakes up again, she sees that she has moved forward from her place and a container is hanging above her. Actually, now the place was filled with water. If water continues to fill like this, she will drown. She tries everything, but it was of no use, because after some time the entire container gets filled with water and Mia passes out. She dies. Then suddenly his eyes open because it was just a dream. When she wakes up, it actually starts filling with water. She puts some tape on the holes and lets the water out through a shell, but there is no benefit. Now after this she started opening the wooden box, in hope of finding something be useful. She found some tiffin box, some food, some bottle of wine which may be of some use to her in future. The first thing she does is put her phone in the tiffin box to keep it safe. After some time a call comes on her phone from an unknown number. When she picks the call, the caller was none other than her husband Jonas. She was very happy to hear his voice and also that he too was alive. He tells him that his driver has dropped him somewhere outside the city. But when he hears about Mia's condition, he is shocked and consoles her and tells her to be courageous and to keep herself alive. "I will definitely come to save you." Hearing her voice, Mia gets a little hope. After some time, Mia's labor pains started. She tries hard to stop herself, but is unable to do so. In this storm, she gives birth to a daughter, whom she names Noha. But Mia doesn't want any trouble for Noha. That's why she keeps her on a wooden box. She takes care of her, but now her food is slowly running out. In such a situation, he will have to eat less of whatever leftover food is water, because she have to feed something to her daughter also. She tries to call Jonas, but her phone doesn't work. Now the next day when she wakes up, she sees that her daughter was crying due to her hunger. At the same time she feeds him her milk so that she can calm down a bit. But during this time an idea comes to his mind. Why not go on top of the container? Who knows, someone may see her, some ship may pass around it, but for this, first of all she have to cut the container from above. She starts looking for something with which she can cut the container and she finds a drilling machine there. But doing this would take a lot of time and effort because the container itself is very strong and the drill machine was made to deal with thin objects. But here Mia does not accept defeat and continues. While cutting it, he also sees visions of his daughter who is dead. It encourages him that she have to keep yourself alive. But how is this possible? She doesn't even have food left. Mia suddenly remember about the flesh of her own body. She didn't throw away it at the time of birth. She searches for it and then starts eating it. It was a very disgusting scene to see, but she has to eat or there is no other option. Now ahead of her we can see that she no longer have water. So she tried to leak and drink rainwater. Slowly and somehow she cuts the top part of the container and then comes up. When she looks around, she is stunned that she was right in the middle of the sea, but she also gets some sunlight here. That's why she brings Noha out of the container to see the sun. She also sees the fishes swimming in the water. She starts trying hard to catch them. But in the beginning nothing comes. Meanwhile, he also sees a plane in the sky, for which she rushes inside the container to bring a shiny part of a TV to give signal to the plane. She tries to break it and bring it up immediately, but in doing so she gets deeply injured in her leg and due to this she falls and screams in pain. Meanwhile the plane also leaves. We also find that the wound was very big. She went back to the container and tries to heal her wound. First of all, we poured wine on it so that there is no infection, then she stitches the skin with a thread so that the bleeding would stop. Then her eyes fall on the earphones with whose wire she can make a fishing net and she puts in all her efforts. After some time it becomes a trap and this time his trick works. She caught a fish every single day and started eating it alive. If he feels thirsty, she would drink the accumulated rainwater and on the other hand, her daughter would drink the milk and find peace. But the biggest problem was that, slowly the water was filling inside the container. She also kept pouring water out of the container slowly every day, but this whole thing happens again and again. She gets disappointed for a day while doing it every day. She goes and sits quietly. And think, how long will she keep doing this? This ocean will never end. And no one has come to help her, or will she get buried in the sea along with her daughter? She became sad and hopeless after realizing this. But when she sees the smile his daughter was giving her, Mia gets the courage she needs to keep herself alive for her daughter. Whenever she felt disappointed with herself, she would start talking to Noah. But one day at night when she was sleeping, he gets a call from Jonas, who tells him that he has been shot and has lost a lot of blood. He apologizes that he will not be able to come to save her, and hearing this, Mia becomes further broken and very disappointed. At his last moment, Jonas heard the voice of her daughter. This time was very difficult for Mia. All the hopes before her were now going to dust. What will she do now, and is there a hope for her? She think for a while. She decided to make a craft with the help of which she can reach some island or someone else. That's why she collect the tiffin box and some wood. After this, he tried to give a wooden plank the shape of a small raft, but it would take him a lot of time. Every day she does the same work which she has been doing for the last 24 days. One night, the raft was ready. The raft was only made for Noah. He has not yet started making it for himself. Then her eyes fall on the container below, which has started filling with water. She placed Noah on the raft and immediately goes down and starts bringing all the stuff up. But her foot got stuck in some things below. She was stuck in the container. The small raft was moving away from the container into the sea, as the container was now submerged in the sea. Mia tried very hard to free herself, and in the end, when she was about to die, her leg came out. She quickly rushed to her daughter and grabbed her raft. When the morning comes, she was still swimming in the ocean with her daughter. She tells her daughter that she given her a hope of living. "You supported me." She thanked her and soon lose her consciousness. After a while, a fisherman boat was passing by. The fisherman saw them and quickly approached to help. He pulled Mia to the boat as well as her baby and tried to bring her back to consciousness. They thought Mia was dead, but then suddenly she opened her eyes. She asks about her baby. They hand the baby to her. She was relieved to find her baby safe. When she asks the fisherman where this place is, he told her that she was an island. Mia gets tears in her eyes after hearing that she and her daughter were in a new place in which they can start a new and a safe life. With this heart-touching moment, the story ends. I hope you like this video, so don't forget to like and subscribe.